out.
You know, I make a lot of mixtapes, and I just have to play that all the time. It's like at the beginning of like every mixtape I've ever done.
I love it.
Friend.
Hi.
You're looking all cute in your mustard.
Thank you. I know, and I got my little star.
Okay, we're up on YouTube. Hi, guys. I am Molly Sleuth. I am the Kate Awakening's baby sister. I grew up in the hellhole of Los Angeles, and I was a bit of an asshole. And then I kind of went legit. I was a cop and a detective for a long time, and now I'm in the Midwest, and I work as a firefighter. That's my story. Who are you, crazy lady?
I am definitely a crazy lady. I love how you put these pictures up of yourself now at the start of the podcast.
This is my Amish screen sharing. That's how that works.
I should I should print some pictures out of me back in the
too.
day.
Hey, we used some of us from way back in the day when we did the photo shoot at my apartment.
Oh, yes.
I need to find those.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm a longtime friend of Molly over here. Met during the Death Rock days and stayed friends all these years.
Friends forever.
Friends forever.
All right, we're doing an odd one tonight. I've got to open. Give me a second. Explain the swear jar. Well, I open.
Me explain it? Okay. So yeah. Molly has a penchant for profanity. And
there's Rod. Rob's using the good emotes in the chat. I've got some really good emojis in the chat on the Molly Sleuth channel on Rumble tonight. It's all about like fighting, but then there's a lot of cats for you. I think there's like a cat's butthole for you because I know how you like those cats.
I do. I love cat buttholes. One of my favorites.
That's disturbing. All right, let me pop that little chat out so I can.
So Molly's penchant for profanity sometimes offends the populace, and there's a swear jar. If you catch Molly profaning during the podcast, if you put a comment in the chat, that she has to donate. Is it $1?
$1 for each swear.
Okay, $1.
And so I'm also monitoring the chat on the Kate Awakening channel. Becky Lou Woo, hi. And my mom says my first hair bow was much smaller. I think my mom's making fun of the fact that I don't have any hair, and I think she basically glued a bow to my head until I was 45 years old so that people knew I was a girl. So that's good. So we've been finding some really odd charities to give our money to. And so that one, and Keystone Channel. Hi, Patricia. Hello. And so that's on there. I'm stalling. And then, so a couple weeks ago, we gave money for a little kid that was taking karate, and we got a thank you back from Grandma, who says that he's learning how to sit still now, and he's doing really well. And then from last week, no thanks to Rod, we had to give $15 last week. And this woman's trying to get AEDs to like save people's lives, and she has $0. Well, she has 15 now. So that's good. The amount. I'm doing a show next week with Average Joe Patriot, and we're kind of digging into the seedy underbelly of like the grifter online charity situation. It goes deep, and I'm probably going to curse a lot. So, because I have very dear to my heart of somebody that I personally knew that has been bamboozled by a very large company. So,
oh no, that would be a good companion show for the one we done on catfishing.
I know. I love catfishing. I was talking to some girl on Telegram this week. Well, girl, who knows? And she was like, oh, I'm just looking for friends. And I saw you in this giant group chat. And I'm like, why aren't you in the group chat if you're looking for friends then? Why are you trying to take it in the DMs? I was like, do you like chest hair? Like, I was just being like as weird as possible. Who doesn't? Yeah. And then I asked to see her tits and she blocked me. But anyway, well, my picture on Telegram is an eyeball. You don't know like who it's like roulette. Right. You literally don't know if I'm a serial killer, Olivia. Move along.
They're always trying to get you in your DMs.
Yeah. Okay. So at the end, after we tally up, and no doubt Rod will tell me exactly how much I owe. I think he's getting paid by these. I think it's a conspiracy.
I think there's a conflict of interest going on.
I think there is. Yes. Okay. All right. Rod's in the chat. So we will have to see how much I owe at the end. Actually, you might owe as well, my dear, because tonight we're paying for pink slips.
Oh, yes.
And I've
Yes.
got
Debating.
3 horrific charities that might earn our dollars. So explain what we're doing tonight, because I don't even understand. What am I doing? Who am I?
Who are we again? Yes. So this came about. We were noodling some ideas for an upcoming show. And I was like, we should do one how we debate each other about the fact that I love doing stuff with people. I hate being alone. And Molly is a strong, independent woman. And
I'm a lone wolf.
a lone wolf. There he is. Lone wolf. We're both strong, independent women. But you're the lone wolf, and I am I don't know. I'm a toe in a shoe, and I just love being with the other toe.
What?
I'm the second long toe. And so we thought, let's come up with some scenarios that we can debate, like what would be a better experience, what would be more successful, what just can't you do alone versus maybe some stuff you should do alone.
You could basically do everything alone. You could basically do everything.
Not a 3-legged race. Just saying.
If that's all you have, you're going to lose this debate tonight.
Agreed. And that's why I think I should start off with 2,000 points, because you're a much better debater than me. To make it fair, I need to have a little help.
I am good at arguing. You should have heard me on the phone with Comcast tonight. I
wish I could have.
Full Karen mode. They put me in collections. The irony of it is I don't have home internet. I've never had Comcast Xfinity. And they put me in collections for not paying my bill that I don't have. And it's like an act of God to try to get them to take it off my credit report. And it's just like, it's insane. I've provided them with a whole package. I reported it to the Sheriff's Department, the Federal Trade Commission, some other like online consumer bureau, Experian, their collection agent, Comcast. Like, I have official reports. Here's my report number, my reference number, my ID number, my account number. Like, and they're just like, well, ma'am, there's nothing we can do about it. You should just pay it. Like, first of all, Comcast, they called me several years ago. I'm just going to go on a rant. Where are my rant glasses?
Get rant glasses.
Comcast called me a few years ago. And I don't remember what name they said. I didn't think it was going to be important, but they were like, you owe us, and if you don't pay, then you're going to go to collections. I'm like, sir, you happen to call like the only person in America that doesn't have home internet, so I don't owe you anything, and you have the wrong name. Good luck to you. And they were like, okay, yeah, sorry, thanks, bye. And so it's like, is this their business model, that they just harass people into collections to try to get $140 at a time?
Possibly. Times are tough.
Anyway, I've been speaking to all these people, and we all get so frustrated with these, like, you know, people with thick accents that tell you that their name is whatever. So I talked to a woman named Vince today, and then I talked to a guy named Tesla today, and then I talked to a man named Kay today, and I feel like they're just kind of missing the mark. But at any rate, he swore that the manager was going to call me back in half an hour, and that was an hour and a half ago. So thanks for that, Comcast. If they do call, I might take the call live and just full-blown Karen.
Bonus segment within our podcast. I love it. If you want to hear a real debate, hear Molly on the phone with Comcast.
Listen, I hate people getting taken advantage of. When I was a detective, I worked theft cases. I worked identity theft. I worked all kinds of crimes. But there's just something so diabolical about further victimizing victims of crime. Like, you see, that's not me. I've never been to that city. And then the stupid thing of it was, Danielle, hold on. I said, can you verify the email address that I opened that account with? I'm sorry, we can't tell you that information to protect the customer. You're telling me I was the customer.
Right.
So tell me what phone number I gave you and what email address I gave you so that I can maybe, have some street justice. So they won't tell me, which only verifies the fact that they know that it's not me.
Right.
Anyway, I can't even pay my phone bill without getting a 6-digit code to verify that I have my phone in my possession while I pay my bill. I don't understand why that is. Because you have like prostitutes that have like their sugar daddies pay for their phone bills.
Right.
How does that work? Whoever logs into my account and wants to pay my bill should be able to pay my bill.
Very true.
That should be allowed. I shouldn't have to verify myself and leave a stool sample like to pay my bill. But to open an account that could theoretically go on somebody's credit later in the future when I decide not to pay that bill, you don't verify people then? And Comcast doesn't. And I had my credit locked down at the time that this person opened this account. And they still opened the account. And they were like, yeah, we're good to go. What's your name? Oh, George. Okay. And you're using Molly's social security number? Anyway, Patricia Keystone Channel wants to know, do they list butthole as swearing on my channel? I believe that is the current medical term. So I don't think I should get dinged for butthole. And Becky Lou says, I will do just about anything alone. Paying catch is a bit tough, though, but I've done it. I like that. You can play handball by yourself, Becky Lou. Patricia says, I can't wait for that call. Patricia knows that I am playing for pink slips. The swear jar doesn't count during the Comcast call. Let the F-bombs fly. Rod, I fully agree with you. Shouldn't it be called anus? I believe anus is the comedic term for it. I believe that the actual medical term would be butthole.
Sphincter.
That's because I'm very lowbrow.
Chocolate starfish. Anxious rosebud. I can keep going if you'd like.
Okay, so have you always wanted to be the toe in the shoe or whatever you're calling this, where you're like, you want everyone around you at all times?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't know when I realized it, I guess. I could do a whole episode on all my childhood trauma, but I spent lots of time alone as a child. I was a latchkey kid and then was on my own at 16. So I spent a lot of time alone, forced to be alone, independent, and it was a bit traumatizing for me. So I think that formed my, I guess, just my desire. I don't know what to call it, for wanting people around. I felt safer. It was like a security for me, just to have people around. For safety purposes, but also just for like confidence purposes. You feel better in a gang, in a village. And I have more concern, anxiety, fear when I'm doing things on my own. And that could be a part of just, fearing failure. But, there's a confidence piece, I think, in there as well. So there's a lot of factors. I can go really deep psychologically with it. But it's interesting. I often think about the fact that if you were to ask me to go into some like dark forest in the middle of the night and dig up a grave, oh my God, that's terrifying. I would never do that. But if someone was with me, no problem. And it's just funny just having an extra body with me. I could pretty much do just about anything and I wouldn't be afraid of it. But alone, I can't. And so I know it's a lot of psychological stuff going on in there where I don't like to do stuff alone. I'm more enjoyable. I have less fear. I have more confidence, and I'm more successful. So
that's what you think. It's like drunk people that think that they're more charming when they're drunk. That's what you think.
I am.
Because I would argue the opposite.
Okay.
There are so many people that let you down in life that the one constant that you can always rely on is yourself. And so if it's just you tackling the world, like there's nothing you can't fail at. And so just embrace that and like be fine with tackling the world. I find there's so many times that other people have held me back from things that I wanted to do. And if you wait for other people to hold your hand in this world, like you don't get to go as far as if you run by yourself.
There's truth in that. Sometimes waiting for somebody or just people in general hold you back from achieving stuff. I will agree with that.
And so the wrench in the works that I put for this debate tonight is that you have to argue the other side. You have to argue for doing it on your own.
I need 5,000 points then, because I'm
5,000 points for Danielle.
I'm gonna lose.
It's fine. I'm the one swearing, so
That's true.
it's all just in good fun. And feel free to be as ridiculous as possible, because I think that you get extra points for comedy. So that's it.
All right.
So we'll just we'll come up with some common problems that you can have in life, and you're going to argue for how you can tackle it by yourself and why it's better to tackle it by yourself. And I'm going to tell you every resource on this planet that can be other toes in your shoe.
Yay!
No, it's stupid.
No, yeah. You don't need anyone. You can just do it by yourself.
You really don't. You really don't.
All right. So let's see. First scenario, something simple that happens. This has happened to me more times than I think the average bear, is getting a flat tire.
Okay.
So this has happened to me many times. I don't know if this counts. Every time I've called AAA, does that count as having somebody else help you?
No.
Okay, yeah, because I learned how to change out a tire in my high school years. It's not that hard. I think the hardest part of it is figuring out where to put the I don't even know what the frig it's called. I almost said a naughty word. What's the
jack?
The jack. Thank you. Where to place the jack underneath the car. I would be afraid of putting it in the wrong spot and punching a hole through some important part of my car. But I think once you figure that out, you get the car lifted.
Yep,
you
on the frame.
Loosen up the lug nuts first, raise the car up, finish it out, and change it out. But I just called AAA. I've had AAA for over 25, I think maybe 30 years. I'm a 30-year member. I know. I said I wouldn't brag on the show.
I don't have it. I changed my own flats.
I just call them and they take care of it, and I'm on my way.
You're already arguing the other side. Negative 5,000 points. All right, so I'm supposed to argue for like having a whole village fix your flat tire. You need to call everyone. First of all, you need to have a wardrobe team, because those people are going to help you dress really sexy so you could stand on the side of the road. In fact, you should probably have a supermodel in your car that can like lift her dress so that bystanders could stop for you. You certainly don't want to get hit, so you don't want to be anywhere near that car. So you're going to have like maybe a couple of mechanics in the back seat, just in case. And a whole tire shop would be really nice. I don't know if you have space, in your car for that, but you never know when you could get 4 flats. So you want to make sure that you have, just like NASCAR, that you have everybody to jump in.
I popped 2 tires at once one time.
That blows.
Literally. And they blew out, and I definitely needed AAA for that.
Yeah, you gotta have a flatbed for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a tire is just something that like everybody should know how to fix a tire.
True.
Because I think it makes you like, so you're going to argue that it makes you feel like more comfortable to know that you can rely on the whole world. But I'm going to tell you something, Danielle, the whole world isn't reliable.
I know.
And to drive around and know that you know how to fix that flat tire, I think it gives you a peace of mind that like, hey, no matter what happens, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get to work. It might be 20 minutes late. My hands might be dirty, but I'm going to get there and I'll deal with the flat tire later.
I would say if you knew how to do it on your own, that would be most beneficial if a tire blew out or went flat in the middle of nowhere. So you're driving some long stretch through Wyoming or something, and who knows how long it would take. It could take hours. You could die of,
Again, rely on yourself. I've got a whole kit in my trunk right now. from food, water, little like reflective things to get people to get away from my car,
Yeah.
fire extinguishers. I got a tourniquet, I got a glass breaker and a seatbelt cutter, but then I cut people out of cars. So maybe I look at things a little different.
Yes. All right. Next scenario.
Okay, let's have a fun one. What if you have a coworker that doesn't like you?
Yes, I do. Several.
I do too.
Yeah.
Personally, I find it hysterical. I love it. You know, I grew up with a bunch of drag queen friends in the Hollywood nightclub scene, and when people don't like me, I kind of like it. I don't know what that is about my personality, but I'm like fascinated with people that will spend their time on me. Like, oh, you don't like me? Tell me more. Like, it's like the biggest compliment you could give. You don't like me. So it's like all these people going crazy over the Teslas and stuff right now. Like, because you don't like Elon Musk, like that's a person's car. That's not Elon's car. Did you think that was Elon's car, like parked at the Trader Joe's? Like, that's. But, you know, that derangement syndrome is a hell of a drug. So if I had a coworker, okay, so if you need to take a whole toes, whatever you need to, if it has to be a village,
Yes.
The first thing you want to do is find out their kryptonite. So you've got to talk to people. You probably should make friends with all of their friends at work first.
Ooh,
get a little network going. And that way you have more people, because what you need to find out is their kryptonite. Like, do they have any like trigger words? Are they like gluten intolerant? And then you could bake cupcakes for like the whole office. There's a lot of things you could do with psychological torture.
That is true.
And so I would employ all my coworkers, and they wouldn't even know that they were part of the war, but I would win that war.
Yes, I like that. Gosh, I'll give that to you too. No, but on your own, I mean, I have people hate me all the time, especially in my role at my job, and I just ignore them. I agree with you. Like, what a compliment that you have time in your day to hate me, because, and you know, good luck. No one hates me more than myself. So get in line. But I basically just ignore them and go about my day. I don't need anyone for that. It's a dry answer, but I'm there to do my job. I have to work with you. I don't have to be friends with you. And if I heard like poop talking, can I say poop? If I heard poop talking, you know, going around the office that they were saying about me, I'd literally just go confront them myself. I don't need anyone for that. Unless I thought it was going to be like some kind of altercation, then it's always a good idea to have HR involved or another party.
You're arguing for my side.
I know, but
I'm going to HR. Okay. And I'm telling them this
for corporate. Yes.
Stop right now. I feel harassed.
For corporate liability purposes, you probably would need an extra party, but I don't technically need one.
I need 3. I need a union rep. I need my mom there. She's really good in a fight.
But yeah, if I was just working at the local Piggly Wiggly, I don't need anyone else. I would just take that individual out by the dumpster out back.
I'd be taking ninja classes in case it gets physical. I would involve a lot of people in this.
I could take them down. I'm from the streets. When you're from the streets, you know how to take people down. So.
It's true. That's why I have a potty mouth. You can take the girl out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the girl.
Amen, sister. All right. Oh my gosh. I need a sip of water. This is getting heated.
I want to show you, but I don't. I have like the oldest coffee. I have like.
Ew. Oh my God. Is there chunks in there? Is that your Amish milk?
Listen, Danielle, there is high maintenance, there is low maintenance, and somewhere deep under the core of the earth is me. Made this coffee yesterday. This is my Amish raw milk that has seen better days. I go pick up my next gallon tomorrow because I have a herd share. And so I just didn't shake it very well or something. I don't know. All looks the same coming out.
All right, let me think of something else. I'll go a little bit more serious. This is something that I've experienced many times this past year, as well as some friends of mine have just recently experienced. This one is going to be hard because it helps to have people around, but like the death of a pet.
Okay.
And, for those of
Oh,
us that have pets.
sorry to make fun of your death of a pet. We have Christopher Leland in the YouTube chat. I didn't know he could view that. It says we need each other. It's human nature. Christopher, don't be arguing for Danielle. You could do everything by yourself. There's like nothing that you need other people for, except a 3-legged race. Okay. All right. So how would you deal with that alone then, Danielle?
I think it would be very difficult. I mean, you technically, it depends what kind of pet it is. Back in my day, back when I was a child, 57 years ago, your cat would die, or your bird, or your hamster, and you would take it out back and bury it in your backyard. I'm sure people still do that. Most folks will take their pets to a vet now, have some cremation and a little plaque made.
I took my last one to the taxidermist.
Yes. What a
She's
beautiful
so
way.
Except it doesn't look like her anymore. Like it's her, but it's not her. It's not good.
Yeah. So technically you could, do the needful, put the, shovel a hole in your backyard and put the pet. Oh, we're not talking about you. I know. The cat was like, what?
Hey, awkward timing there.
But I think just dealing with the grief, like there's lots of stuff you could just view on your own or read on your own to deal with the grief of a pet, but just grief in general, I think, is better when there's somebody around. So that's a hard one. You can absolutely deal with it on your own. Nothing stops you from it. It's just a lot more difficult.
Patricia Keystone Channel says, yes, Danielle, I can totally relate to that one. Losing both my cats in a week time, I was devastated, but sat with it alone. Oh, I'm sorry. That's terrible. I mean, I think I cried the most when I lost Pork Rind, my little guinea pig. That was like, aww. There's something terrible about losing a pet because they're so innocent and they're just love. You've never had like an argument with them. There's something so like just sweet and innocent and whole, and I don't know. I think pets are just, they give their whole life for you.
I know. It is. It's unconditional love, and it's like losing a friend. I lost I lost 2 cats over the last couple of years, and one I had for 19 years. And she was 20 years old, and it was like I had that cat longer than my kids and anyone. Like I've known that cat longer than anybody, and it was really hard. It was like losing a part of your life, your best friend. Yeah.
But if you taxidermy them, then they're not really gone, because I still have Betty. Although, so they had me give a like they wanted to know what pose to put Betty in. And I had this real cute photo of her like hopping over. Betty was a squirrel, people.
I was going to say Betty the squirrel. I don't think people knew.
Betty Butterball was a squirrel, and she was as fat as can be. And so I had this cute picture of her like running up to me, and her head's all kind of crooked, and she's kind of like looks all happy and sort of like sideways. And she was so fat that everything she did was cute. What they returned to me, I should have printed out a picture of Betty the Butterball, was some like sideways derpy, like dirt, like all skinny. She didn't look right. Just take your pet to the Micmac ground, and you'll get it back good as new.
Not good as new.
Oh, is that Pet Cemetery?
Yes.
Wow, Rod, way to bring out an old reference. I would have let Betty haunt me. She was cute. And now that I have 2 bunnies, I'm already like trying to think of like what poses I want them in, because I'm going to taxidermy them too, because they're so cute. It'll be terrible.
I don't know that I could do that.
Well, I guess my argument is for death of a pet. is include everybody possible. And I just realized people are making fun of me on Telegram right now. That's what that was about. It was a squirrel. A squirrel, not a cat. I don't really believe in cats' buttholes in my face constantly.
Don't knock it till you tried it.
No. But yeah, I mean, certainly you can rely on lots of other people to help you through grief. I don't know. I'm going to say I think that grief is I'm going to give this one to you because I think that grief is sort of a lone road. You can reach out to everybody and have a big old pity party and blah, blah, blah. But like grief is really personal to you. And so I'll give you that one. Okay. Let's say you have like a vacation, camping, a trip, something like that planned.
Yes.
With a friend, with me.
Where are we going?
Well, I'm not going anywhere now because I flaked on you. Now what do you do?
You bitch. First of all, I never talk to you again.
I picked you up from the airport. I guess so. If I have to argue your side, you're going to want to try to replace the friend. And then call everybody on Earth, see if you can get your money back, cancel reservations, stall it, ask me when, like, can you do it the weekend after? Get on Tinder, see if you could just like meet some like weird boy. You wouldn't do that. I would do that though.
Yes, you would.
Hey, I don't know your name, but do you want to like go camping with me this weekend? Aren't you worried that I'm a serial killer? Not really. I'm armed. So, well, you want me to pick you up about 3? So that's what I think that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Employ a lot of people.
Oh, there's a cat butthole coming soon. And 3, 2, 1.
I have no doubt.
Well, this is an interesting one. It would be really frustrating, especially for me. I'm a planner. But that would be a point as to why not to make plans with friends, because friends can flake on you. So if I had made the trip plans just by myself, that would have never happened in the first place, number 1. And number 2, if a friend flaked on me, I'm also a big believer in the universe is doing what it needs to do in my life. And so I would have just taken it as a sign of I wasn't supposed to go on this trip with this person. The universe is telling me to go by myself. And I'm going to go meet somebody magical and amazing going by myself on the trip that I would have never met.
Or just be happy to be alone.
Or I
could just be toes in the shoe.
Yes, I can enjoy the experience by myself, and then I can take the whole trip and do my own agenda. I don't have to worry about what they want to do or they want to eat. They have to go to the bathroom because they had something with dairy in it. Now they have diarrhea. Like, I don't have to worry about that or them snoring in the room, which is actually me, or, having to do all that stuff.
See, I think that there's hope for you yet. I think that there is hope for you yet. I am quite pleased with you. And friends flake on a trip. All right, I guess we have that one.
Yes. Okay. Let's see.
I like your little star.
I know. This really cool.
Is that your chocolate starfish?
Yes. If your starfish is this color, then I'm sure there's a
some guy sent me
of people that would like that.
Some guy sent me his wiener on Facebook yesterday.
What?
I said, "Is that a child? That's illegal, sir." Because it was all shaved and like.
Oh no.
Anyway, I don't need to look at that.
No.
No woman is like, oh my gosh, like. When we buy a car, we want to know if our Hello Kitty seat covers fit. We don't want to look at the carburetor. Okay?
I might want to look at the carburetor.
I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
And you
No,
can look
not
at
that
his
one.
shaped carburetor.
Let's see. Okay. Next one is, I guess this is kind of similar to dealing with grief. It's another emotion to deal with is I'm going to put it in the realm of rejection or disappointment. So like if you failed a test or like a certification, or like you were going for something that you'd been studying for or training for, and you didn't make it. And now you have to sit with that disappointment. Yeah, this is hard. Technically, yes. Alone, you can deal with it. Just like grief, it's something that you're going to have to process yourself and deal with.
Right. It was your test.
Yeah.
Nobody else takes that test in there but you.
That's
So
true. Well, why would it be helpful if there was other people around during that time, Molly?
Well, my friend Danielle, she would get 73 tutors and then want to speak to the dean because clearly this test was biased, and speak to everybody else in the class, find out what the average score was, maybe run some mathematics and say, mathematically, this test was too hard because of the class average. So you probably need a couple of mathematicians to call in on that as well. You probably want to talk to the teacher just because, it's just another toe in the shoe. And yeah, that's who you would call.
100%. I want to know the bell curve. How was this graded? And all that stuff. See? And I could possibly find a way with all of that village to get to pass.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe just study for the test. Do you know when I made detective for LAPD, I had a boyfriend at the time, and I know you're shocked. And he was like, "You're always studying. Let's go to the movies." And I was like, "Oh, I can't go to the movies. This test, it's not a test to test whether or not you can be a detective. It's a disqualifier. A passing score is 35%. This test is so hard, and it was 3,874 pages or something of a syllabus that you had to know. And it wasn't how to be a detective because I was already doing the job without the rank. It was all these, if you get a kidnapping for hire and they are taken to another state and they are a politician's child, who are the people that you need to notify and in what order? Like, it was just like, I don't know. I guess I would consult with my paper on that one and go, and then this isn't testing whether or not you're a good detective. It was just memorization. And so everybody had kind of a different way that they attacked this test. And I think I told you I went through hypnotherapy for it, which was really awesome to like memory recall. But yeah, this boy, Marco, wanted to go to the movies. And I was like, "You're dumped. Thanks." And I passed the test. I got an 85 on the test, as a matter of fact. So I did very well. I probably could have gone to the movies. Sorry about that, Marco. But I passed, and it was great. So yeah, sometimes you don't need more toes in the shoe. You need to just read the freaking 3,800 pages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, you're taking the test alone. I'm just talking about dealing with the rejection and disappointment.
Yeah, but rejection and disappointment is so like personal. So you're like rejected and disappointed. That's like 2 minutes of your time. And what? Then what? Like next?
Your time. Me, it's 20 years.
But why why ruminate over it? Take the test again and this time pass it. That's it. It's not that difficult.
Okay.
All right. Here's a really tough one. And this one's going to get really emotional.
Molly.
What if you find out that your boyfriend's a vampire? Did I get you on that one?
Yes.
You're like, oh no.
Also, no, you have gotten emotional before. And I was like, oh my God.
What if you find out your boyfriend's a vampire?
Oh my God. You know what's funny? Related but not related, a little side. I'm going to be Molly here for a second. When I was in college, I shared I lived with many people. I could write a whole book on roommates in college. The horrors I experienced with living with strangers at random apartments off campus. Oh, Jesus. But one of the roommates, I shared a room with the gal. She was in a sorority. I don't remember her name, but I think she had a friend named Peaches.
Sorry, I have
And
an uneducated question.
yes.
If you're part of a sorority, you don't live at the sorority, you live with
Yeah,
Danielle?
I didn't know how that worked. Maybe the sorority was full. I didn't
I've
know.
never been to
But
college, clearly.
yeah, but I shared a room with her. It was like a 3-bedroom apartment. There was like a whole bunch of us, like 5 or 6 of us living in there, and I shared a room with her. And she told one of the other girls in the apartment, who then told me that she thought I was a vampire. Like, for reals, like no joke, thought I was a vampire and didn't want to share the room with me anymore because she was scared. And I'm like, you're in college with me? Okay. And so I had to sit down with her and explain to her that I just like dark, spooky stuff. And I'm a night owl. And I actually drove a hearse at the time. It was 69 Pontiac Bonneville.
That's not helping your situation.
And loader. It was really cool. I loved that car. So all of that led to it. I mean, it wasn't so out of the norm, but vampires aren't real. I'm sorry, anyone listening, if I just spoiled that for you. But I had to explain to her I was just like her. I was a real boy, just like her, like I wasn't a supernatural being. And she was like, okay.
Was she really superstitious?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, man.
And she was from the Midwest, and it was just hilarious. I mean, not knocking Midwest people, but I mean, maybe she hadn't experienced the city life. And I'm like, I just like Bauhaus and black clothes. Like, that's it. I don't actually drink blood. I don't even eat a whole lot of meat. I eat chicken nuggets just like you.
I dated a guy who thought he was a vampire, and he did all this like LARPing stuff. And so he always had like his arm in a sling or his foot with a boot on it. And I'm like, what happened? I was trying to silence the wizard, but he was out of range. And like, there was all this, like, what's going on? Like, he would play these like Cyclops games out in the forest. And he was always all jacked up because he got hurt like doing this LARPing. But he made fangs. And his entire bedroom, first of all, it smelled like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. Like, it was like that like swampy, moldy smell. He had black trash bags all over the walls in his apartment. And so there was like never any like aerating.
Yes.
Nothing ever like dried out. So it smelled really swampy.
Like an old like haunted house.
Yeah. And the sad thing was he was so hot. But anyway, that just wasn't meant to be. No. And then, remember Release the Bats?
Yes.
That club.
Yes.
This guy came up to me once and he was like, would you like the dark gift? And like, I knew he was talking about like being a vampire with him or whatever. But you know me. I just said to him, is that like herpes? I did not get the dark gift.
Oh.
So
all right. So if you found out like your boyfriend is really a vampire, I mean, for me, that's one I can handle on my own. I'm a vampire aficionado. I have over 100 hardback books on vampirism and the folklore. I even learned.
You are a vampire.
I am. I learned Romanian in college just so I could read more books on vampirism and the history behind it. I know. I'm a big nerd. So I could easily handle that, and I know how to kill him. I wouldn't need any help.
You would kill your boyfriend?
Yeah, he's a vampire. I don't want him to.
Yeah, but like he could do other things. Like he could help you like rob banks or something. Maybe you could like go into like.
Yeah, I guess I could make some use of his powers, his magical dark gift. Before
you go to murder and I go to bank robberies.
I know.
Where we are. Well, I would have to get lots of people involved. You need more toes in the shoe. So I would have to get some like ghost whisperers or something. I don't know. And learn about vampirism. I probably have to go to Danielle.
Yes. I have several books I could lend you.
Yeah. And first I'd have to like prove it, I guess. So there would be some like mirrors. I don't know. Actually, you know what I'm watching right now is that What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, that show is so good.
That show is so funny. Like, I don't, unless you were like a teenage goth girl, I don't think that you get it. It is so funny. I should have been on that show. And you know what? I used to read for that casting director 100 years ago when I was a stupid Hollywood actor. I would have gotten a role on that show.
Oh, you'd have been so good.
That show is just too funny. And just all the alternative scene jokes that get made is just a good time. All right. What other problems do you have for me to solve?
Let's see. So,
Rod says, just don't let Guillermo around your boyfriend. He'd probably accidentally kill him. Yeah, Guillermo, like I'm only on the 2nd season right now. Guillermo's like taking out a lot of vampires right now. Guillermo's my favorite character too. I just love watching his like secret longing to be a vampire and how they just snub him all the time. Like he's such a fantastic underdog.
So good. We should more on that later. I'm going to bring it back to this at the end. But,
okay.
So something else. This is something both you and I have experienced.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about at the start of the show, moving to a new city. Mm-hmm. And you, not even to a new city, you've recently had moving nightmares.
Yeah, you're just trying to trigger me, Danielle. This is all this question is about.
You're so far ahead. I have to like.
Yeah, moving sucks. Moving sucks.
It does suck, and this is a very difficult one to do on your own, but you absolutely can do it on your own. I mean, gosh. How many sitcoms from the 80s showed people like packing up their pacer full of stuff and a plant in the back, and they just moved to Cincinnati and started afresh? I think it's easy when you're a young single human to pack up your belongings in your car or get a little tow trailer and take off and go. And then it takes a lot of chutzpah when you get into your new city to make friends, make connections. But yeah, you can totally do it. I think you need to be a very strong, independent individual to do something like that. But you
and don't own as much crap as me.
Yeah. Yes.
The fact that Betty Butterball is like living in a storage unit in a box right now is not lost on me. But look, I bought a new shirt. So because I'm in a storage unit right now, trying to work on housing. It's a whole thing. I'm technically experiencing unhousedness. I don't know what the politically correct term is.
Oh, yes.
And so I only thought it was going to be a little bit. So I packed a single duffel bag. The bunnies have more stuff than I do. And so I just got sick of myself. So I bought this lovely lumberjack shirt and a bow for my hair.
Love it.
And I feel fancy. And I bought these earrings today at the grocery store because that's where I get all my fine goods.
Hi, beautiful.
I'm a classy lady.
Chola. You got a kind of little bit of a chola
aesthetic
going on right now. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should have put some like winged eyeliner on.
Should.
Yeah, moving to a new city is terrible. You should have movers. You should know a lot of strong people. You should always make friends with people with a truck.
Yes.
And friends with people that have nothing to do on a weekend. That's where you should have in your little Rolodex. And then you should put all of those people together and cry a lot and make them come help you. That's how that works.
Yeah. And I'll give one other point to you. If you move to a new city where you know somebody, that makes things a whole lot easier. When I moved out here, my cousin lived here and he helped a lot with just getting around and going to some new places, and made it a lot less scary for me and my kids. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, when I moved here, I thought I knew people. I had aunts and uncles here, but then I didn't get vaccinated. So, that was kind of the end of that. But I think it's kind of fun to like make friends on your own. In fact, I walked into a gaming store today and was like, "Hi, I invented a game called the Sarlacc.
Oh, yes.
It's like the werewolf, but with all original trilogy Star Wars characters, and the kids just love it. Here's my phone number. Let's do whatever." And the guy was just like, "Okay." I don't know. I think I just make friends wherever I go, and if they don't like me, then they're still my friend.
That's right. They're even more of a friend. That's why I said it's much easier depending on your personality.
Yeah, I mean, I think in having a lifetime of failure, like you don't worry about failing anymore. I think that's maybe the difference between us. Like I totally don't care about failing. Like bring it on.
I've had a lifetime of failure.
Yeah, but you look at it different. You look at it different. If you were to stub your toe, you'd spend the next 3 weeks thinking about like, how come I didn't navigate around that? Was that a sign? I don't like, am I supposed to be hurt? Like, what is this saying about maybe I shouldn't have picked that coffee table? Like you're going to like be all in your head thinking about it. And I'm going to stub my toe and go, you sure did that, Molly. Good job. You're probably going to lose a nail. Onward and upward. And then that's the end of it. Patricia Keystone Channel wants to know, you have grocery stores that sell earrings in the U.S. So she is in the Netherlands. You don't have grocery stores that sell earrings?
Yeah.
They're not the cream of the crop. I'm actually surprised that they're not itching yet because they're
turning your earlobes green. Or...
Yeah, they're made out of old root beer cans or whatever, and somebody spray painted them, some sweatshop worker. And actually, it was a 3-pack for $10.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you can get anything in the grocery store out here. You can even get a date for the night at the grocery store. Go to the right one.
Okay. I'll be right over. In fact, I was telling Rod today. So I went and I was on a mission. I wanted to get earrings because I haven't worn earrings in a long time. And so I'm on one of those big turnstiles and I'm turning the thing around, and this lady just comes up to me and basically like shoves me out of the way. Hold on a second. I need to see something. You can look in a minute or whatever. And I was like, what? What? Okay. So I go and I look at the next turnstile, and she like looks or fake looks, and she's like, okay, you can look now. Like, thank you. But then I'm already at the second, turnstile where you're like turning the big thing around with the 4 sides and looking at all these earrings. And now I have these 2 girls, or like 20, that come up on either like flanking either side of me, and they're trying to like look over my shoulder. And like I'm sort of an 11-year-old boy, so I have a backpack on, and I'm like, they're just trying to pickpocket you. That's all this is about. So anyway, because they weren't even like speaking English, and they were just really needed to look at the earrings that I was looking at. I'm like, I will fight all 3 of you right here in this grocery store. I'm in full Karen mode.
That's right. Molly's from the streets. And yeah, like if you go to Walmart, you can get everything from your Hello Kitty car seat covers to a car battery, to popcorn, an enema, like whatever you need. It's and food and earrings. I lost audio for a second. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. You're muted.
Is that better?
Yes.
Hello. Patricia, there's a movie called Idiocracy. It's very stupid. It's very funny. It's about politics, which you're into. And they show, was it Walmart or Costco or something in Idiocracy? And it's like you have to take a subway like inside. Did you ever see the movie?
I think it's the Costco. Yeah.
It's so stupid. I love that movie. That's basically our grocery stores. Like you could buy paint for your house and moisturizer, and it's got a whole pharmacy and
electronics, car parts, everything.
Clothes. They got it all.
Got it all. All right.
Okay, so let's see. In the spirit of me being a jackass, what if, here's a problem for you. What if you're hearing voices? Because I think.
Who told you?
You know what? At LAPD, when we used to arrest people, you would ask them like there were these fixed questions. Are you sick, ill, or injured? Are you hearing voices? There were a couple of questions. And I always thought that was weird to ask somebody if they're hearing voices. I think the question was like, are you hearing voices that aren't there or something? But like, they're there for you. If you're hearing voices, like you literally think that there's voices. So I always would ask, are you hearing voices that I'm not hearing? I'm like, I don't know why it's not worded that way. But yes. Oh, Costco. I have been into as well in Mexico. I felt really intimidating to me. So giant. And then she's using the brain emote that I put on my channel. Look at that brain looking all cute. Yeah, Costco is a giant, giant place. Yeah, so if you're hearing voices and I'm arguing for Danielle, then you need to tell the whole world and get 75 therapists and get on the internet, get on Reddit. I've never been on Reddit, but I hear it's a fun place to be.
It is.
Rod says if you're hearing voices, it's just the other toes in the shoe.
That's right.
Rod, you and Danielle are just going to go be friends.
Oh my gosh.
Becky Lou Wu says, my local Walmart even has, I don't know if I could say that word on YouTube.
Oh my.
But adult toys in a glass case by the tampons. Walmart, grocery, automotive, clothing, pharmacy, makeup, jewelry, hardware, paint, toys, sporting goods, something shop, adult entertainment shop, and gardening.
I need to go to that Walmart.
I know. I want to garden.
Speaking of doing something by yourself. So if you're hearing voices in your head.
How do you handle that by yourself?
Oh, gosh. It depends what they're telling you. That might be a good thing. It could be like Mr. Crowley, Aleister Crowley, or Nostradamus or something. And it's telling you the secrets of the universe, and you can write a whole book.
Dude, I always felt so bad for people because I handled a lot of mental illness calls as a police officer. Yeah. And I remember this one lady said that she wanted to report multiple break-ins because somebody was breaking into her apartment and shrinking all of her left shoes.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah. And I don't know if she had a swollen foot. I mean, people don't always have the same size foot. She said totally no to that. Terrible.
Interesting. But yeah, this is a hard one because if you were on your own, let's say you lived alone, how would you know how pervasive these voices in your head are?
Well, I think if you live alone, you would know there's nobody else in here. Although I do like to watch those dumb ghost things where it's like I heard somebody call my name. And I've had dreams of that before where I've woken up to somebody calling my name, but I think that was just part of the dream. I don't know.
Interesting. I don't know. I think maybe it would be nice if you lived by yourself to have voices you're hearing. It's kind of like having company, but it's just you.
What if your voice was funnier than you? I'd have to fight it.
Oh.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Christopher Leland says self-help. Oh, are you saying self-help as in adult entertainment?
I've never heard that before.
And so Patricia said, I love Reddit. Molly would love the I can't sleep section. The stories there are amazing and scary. We'll send you the link, Molly. Happy reading. Patricia, let's do a deep dive on Reddit and let's come up with some crazy ones. Because right now I'm just scouring GoFundMe for some of their oddballs. But if Reddit is a target-rich environment, that could be a fun time. Christopher Leland on YouTube says, me and me and me agree. You're all crazy as hell.
That's right. I thought you could have your own debate with yourself. I don't think it's a problem to be solved. I think it's a good thing to have the voices in your
Listen,
head.
you could lock me in a coffin with a pizza and I would entertain myself at least until the pizza's gone. I don't need any more.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. I don't know. That one I think is a good one. Something terrifying that some of us have experienced, unfortunately. I've
I know that you're messing with
I've
me. I can see
I
your voice.
I've had to go through it. You've probably had a friend, family member go through this, and it's really hard. Going on a diet.
So was it last week? My old partner from LAPD came on the show, and he's like doing all this great stuff. He lost all this weight. He's looking all great, and so he's helping people like get all coached up and getting them to like lose weight and stuff. And I was like, because he knows I'm the human garbage disposal. I'm like, let's see if you like a challenge. So he's been, he got me on his program. I can't say, okay, is Mike listening? Mike, are you out there?
I don't think so. I think you're safe.
Okay, don't tell anyone. So he gave me these like workouts to do. And like I ate all this food and I washed it down with a whole glass of milk. And then I was like, oh no, I got to do the workout of the day. And I was like, dude, if I do 50 jumping jacks with what's in my stomach right now, it's not going to be good. And so the way the app works is like you have to like press this and then you go to the next exercise and you press that and then you like press a 90-second break and then it tells you when to do the next exercise. I faked the whole workout. I was watching TV.
Molly.
Listen, if I had discipline, I wouldn't weigh as much as Jabba the Hutt. Don't tell him.
I don't even know him. Your secret's safe.
We'll make up for it later. I have a whole weekend. Can't be doing stuff all the time. He has one for me tonight too, and I'm like, well, that's not going to happen.
So for this one, this is a hard one to debate that doing it on your own. I mean, obviously you're doing the activity itself on your own, but I've had a major weight loss in my life. I lost 70 pounds at one point. And
I found it.
Well, I'm finding it again. I'm already gaining my weight back, but that's another story. But I was overweight for a long time. After I had my kids, it was very difficult. I didn't exercise. I wasn't taking care of myself. And I tried to do a bunch of different diets and things, and nothing worked. But I was doing it all by myself, or people would recommend stuff, and I'd try it. And believe it or not, what the program that helped me was Weight Watchers. And for two reasons, I'm doing a Weight Watchers commercial right now. One is like the whole counting points that I liked that. I'm a little OCD, so I liked having my little app where I put my points in.
Mm-hmm.
My number one thing I realized that why I was so heavy was portion size. I didn't know that till I started counting my points. I was eating like 4 or 5 portions of pasta. And then when I found out what one portion of pasta was, I was very angry. I wrote my congressman and I was like, how dare you? It was gross. I don't recommend it to anyone. But so that was one component. So I was like, oh, I'm eating too much. But the second thing was that you had to go weigh yourself in front of a group of people every week. I didn't want to disappoint them.
I had to send Mike my before pictures, and like I don't have any workout gear. I'm homeless. So I'm just like in my bra and underwear, and I told my friend to like, will you take pictures of me? And she was like, do you want to put on some pants? Nope, I don't. This is what he's gonna see. And I even like rolled the underwear down to just like maximize how hideous I was.
Oh, I'm sure you were gorgeous. but that accountability. So that's I'll say twofold. I'll debate your side. Is that an accountability partner helps a lot when you're trying to do something like that. Somebody checking in on you. And that is the same as going to Weight Watchers. And I had this like group of 10 people that like you get weighed in front of them. And they're like, all right, let's see what Danielle's weight is. And
what do I care what Sally thinks of how much I weigh this week?
You don't, but I do. And so that was a motivator for me. If I was just doing it by myself and getting on a scale every Friday, I wouldn't have had the weight loss had I not been trying to do it so I didn't disappoint the rest of the people in my group. And it worked. And I lost 70 pounds. And I'm slowly finding it again.
I mean, I wish I had that kind of shame and discipline. I don't.
It was just shame helped me lose weight. And
I
you can't
don't.
have shame. That's something you can't do by yourself.
Ash on X says odd, LOL. I don't even know what part of this is odd to you, but welcome. Okay, my last one.
Yes.
Planning your wedding. You got to do it alone.
Sure. I have one of my friends. I told her she's in charge either of my wedding or funeral. It can be the same theme. And I said at
Could
this
be the same
point,
day.
it could be. I said at this point, it's going to be my funeral. So let's just start planning for that. It's going to be a lovely, like, New Orleans theme. And it's going to be fun. Like voodoo, lots of.
And you're wondering why your college roommate thought you were a vampire.
I also want to be like, speaking of taxidermy, I want to be like taxidermied and be like Weekend at Bernie's at my funeral. And people can like, I could be sitting at a table and people can like come take pictures with me.
Okay, so I was going to donate my body to the Body Worlds exhibit where they plastinate you.
Oh, yes.
But then you don't get to pick what your pose is.
Oh. They might have you in an uncompromising position.
Yeah. What if they have you like bent over cleaning out a closet?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that for eternity. I want to be the one that's like riding the horse with the sword going like, yeah. You don't get to pick that.
No. But okay, planning wedding, absolutely you can do it on your own. But like some other the stuff we talked about tonight, it's a lot more difficult. I probably wouldn't want to plan a big ass wedding by myself, but I would keep it very simple. And, you know, I'd have to carve the time out to call the caterer and the photographer and, you know, plan all the stuff out. And yeah, it's totally doable on your own. The benefit of doing it on your own is no one gets to call you a bridezilla because it's just you planning it and nobody gets to talk crap about you about
the voices in your head.
Yes.
The voices in your head could call you bridezilla.
That's true. That's true. But then you get to do it all by exactly how you want it. You don't have anyone's opinion coming in. Maybe at the wedding, you know, your mother-in-law is coming over like, you really should have had teal flowers. These white just doesn't work. We know your path.
When did my mom come from Jersey? I had no idea. I agree with you. To argue your side of it, delegate. Listen, I don't even care. Go try some cakes. I don't care what kind of music we listen to. Whatever. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And delegate and just show up and it's all a surprise. I guess maybe I would argue that then it's like it brings more people in and then you see what other people wanted for your wedding because you're making them like come and like buy a dress to come stand there and stare at you while you're like, yay, look at this. So then you give them some ownership in the thing since you're making them go to it.
I mean, it's the whole I lost the word. I lose words all the time. It's the whole purpose of like a bridal shower, like a bridal party. You know, like you have your maid of honor and all the girls, and they're supposed to be
but bridal party photos don't get put in a frame in the living room for the rest of your life. I'm just saying.
That's true.
But no, you could totally do a wedding by yourself. You just call like an ice cream man to sit out front, and then all your friends could go to the ice cream man and just do it in your backyard.
Love it.
Do you want to get married?
I gave up on that dream long ago.
Yeah. The silence is deafening, Danielle. Thanks. Yeah. All right. You got any more problems for me to solve?
This one is an actual serious one. No joke. But a lot of us have had to deal with it. Is when you're in a kind of like a domestic violence situation. You have an abusive partner, an abusive environment, and you have to get out. I've read a lot about this, and it's shocking, it's saddening how many individuals, this is usually female, but sometimes it's males, how many females don't leave those types of situations because they don't know how, like the finances are tied up with the partner, they don't have a car, they they've allowed themselves to become so dependent on the person that they don't know how to leave. There's not even an option they see. So like we could do a whole episode on that, about how not to be completely dependent on your partner, because if you have to leave or you have to end the relationship, it makes it 10,000 times harder to go out on your own. And so I think in some cases, of course, like if you have the resources and a plan, you can absolutely on your own abscond in the middle of the night, call an Uber, wait until 3 a.m., and I'm going to go get a drink of water. You have your bag packed in the garage. This didn't happen. It's just I dream about it all the time. And, you leave in the middle of the night and you start your new life in Branson, Missouri, and change your name. But I'll let you argue the other part of that.
Well, I worked major assault crimes for LAPD, so I helped a lot of victims of crime. And maybe I'm an unusual resource for a victim of domestic violence, but there's a lot of help out there. There's shelters and there's all kinds of programs, and you can report things anonymously, and you can get, if they get arrested, and you can, there's a victims indemnification notification program, and there's a whole lot you can do. I would say, start saving your little pennies, and you can help with that. God, go on and GoFundMe. These people are making money. It's disgusting. So just make up a fake thing, put up a fake picture, tell people that you're, trying to get money for trans rights or something, and you'll get thousands of dollars. And it doesn't matter, because you don't have to prove on GoFundMe what you're actually doing the money for. But yeah, I think you should have a lot of help, because it's a very tender time where
that's scary.
Women get sucked back into it, and it's hard for me because I love to help victims of domestic violence, and it's you can pep talk that to the moon, but it really has to be within that person to get out. But there are a lot of resources out there, and I would just say, I don't know, you got to be careful though, because if it's a really severe situation, you don't want the whole world knowing, because loose lips sink ships. But trusted people to give you resources and to help you get out and start over, and it is possible. And the amount of independence and satisfaction and pride that those women have in the end. I helped one lady through it and helped her through, she got citizenship for the United States.
Oh, awesome.
Through this whole process, and it changed her life. And I mean, he was burglarizing her house and stabbing all of her furniture. I mean, this was beyond gaslighting. This was terrible. So he had attacked her and done some stuff. And you know what the craziest part of it was? The cops went to go canvass the area, because she had called 911 one of these times for one of the reports that I handled. And the guy, they found his car, and they were standing there going okay, yeah, I don't know where he went, blah, 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 blah. How do I know everything those cops said? Because when I arrested the guy, he was hiding in his own trunk, and he told me everything that the two officers said standing outside his trunk.
Oh my God.
Yep. You're lucky he wasn't armed, officers. Yeah, but it does take a village sometimes, I think, to get somebody out of domestic violence. And if somebody comes to you for domestic violence, and, help them as much as you can, and then give them additional resources, have them email me, mollysleuth@gmail.com. I love to help people. I'll get on video chat and give them some options.
Yes, you helped me with my situation.
Yeah, you shocked me. You got like a dumpster. That was good.
Two full-size dumpsters.
2 full-size dumpsters. That was pretty good.
Yes. I ended a very abusive, toxic relationship situation, and the advice I got, the support I received, all helped me through it because it was so just traumatizing and upsetting and scary. But everybody helping me helped me through it, and I was terrified. So I'm very grateful for all that support in the village that was there to support me, and everyone supporting me. Like
you now,
planning my funeral. But yes, all the people
Vampire.
like the support you get from people too, to just even acknowledge like you're doing the right thing. So sometimes, even though you have to leave those types of situations, it still sometimes feels, especially for someone like me, I have a very big heart, I'm very empathetic, like, am I doing something wrong? Am I doing the right thing? And that village helps support you in, like, yes, you are, keep going. I know it's hard, I know it's rough, I know it feels wrong, and keep going. It's going to be okay. It's just, a tough time right now. And especially all the advice online. I went online so much for just legal advice, or like, has anyone had this situation before? And it's so awesome to the outreach from community to be like, yes, I know what that is. Here's what you do. Here's the form. You can file for this, or here's a center you can go to. And yes, all the GoFundMes, there's people out there to help you, and makes it a whole heck of a lot easier and sometimes safer when you have that village to help you. Yes. My cat's here. He's just right off camera.
I know. I felt a disturbance in the force.
Hi.
See, your cat didn't even like that.
You didn't.
Well, this was fun. Should we see who won? Did I curse at all? I don't know if Rod's still in the chat.
I don't know.
How many dollars do I have to give?
We did say butthole a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, butthole's not. Patricia is sending all kinds of cats fighting and hearts and... Oh, Rod said 0. This is beautiful. See, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Thank you, Rod. This makes up for the $15 you made me send somebody last week. No, you did not curse. Thank you, Patricia. Well, let's tell them what they won. These were the 3 I was going to pick for tonight. These were the 3 I was going to pick to potentially give my hard-earned homeless money to. We have somebody in Belgium. That's sort of close to you, huh, Patricia? They have $0 out of 2,500 already donated. 0 since February. And so what she wants to do is, she is a dancer, and it's about constantly fighting for the right to exist as an artist. And so what she would like with this $2,500 is to spread folk dances and hip hop and break dance to Pakistan. That is.
Oh.
So there will be no break dancing in Pakistan.
I'd like to point out a very special comment in the chat. Your mom is proud of you.
Somebody print that right away.
Dear diary.
Dear diary. Belgium is like our little brother next door. We always make fun of them. Well, apparently she hasn't gotten any money, but she wants $2,500 to spread breakdancing into Pakistan. You get $0. The next one that gets $0. This one's from January. They have had $0. They would like $5,000. They're in Canada. And I'll just read what they're telling me. Help me with my lawyer fees and Counter-Strike skins. We almost gave this guy money. Yeah, so I was sleeping in my mom's Honda CR-V in the parking lot after having 2 beers. And even though I ain't even drive anywhere, these federales charged me with a DUI. So I need to get a lawyer so I can beat the case right away and start whipping again. So I can pick up all the fine goth baddies with nose piercings and stuff. I also want some nice Counter-Strike skins and some money for the casino. The casino never fails to bring a huge smile on my face Truly one of the better things in life. If I hit it big, I'll give one of you all some bread or something. I need some nice Counter-Strike skins, though, for real. I'm tired of having cheap skins. I just want to ball out and flex on all the awful players. Please help a brother out. Well, we're not
Sounds
helping.
reasonable.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't cuss, so you can suck it. And the last one, you just have to show you the picture. Okay, wait. This one's only been up for a week, and they already have $150 donated.
What?
They're in Virginia.
Yes.
They want $1,300.
Okay.
Ghost panties. Help me end wedgies and panty lines. Regular cotton underwear isn't discreet. It has too many thick seams, and the fabric bunches up uncomfortably and visibly. The synthetic kind makes you sweat, causing infections.
Don't I know it?
And or slides up into your butt. Thongs are basically a medieval torture device. Enter the ghost panty. A novel, patent-pending design that is, and it goes on, but she has $150. Can I show you the ghost panty?
Yes, please.
Okay, how many nanoseconds would that stay on your body?
I would say maybe 3 nanoseconds. That would never.
So on her body, then I don't think you're even worried about it like cutting into you.
Oh my gosh. It reminded me, I was telling somebody this story the other day, but when I was losing all the weight, like I talked about earlier, I was waiting until I lost all of it before I bought new clothes. So I was still wearing all my same clothes and underwear. And I was at work and I was wearing a skirt and I was on the floor and I ran across the floor. Somebody was like, emergency. And I ran over to them. And as I was running, my underwear just wiggled their way down, and like by the time I got to them, it was like by my knees, and I was mortified. And I was like, I'm gonna have to buy new underwear.
I was in high school, and I was wearing these weird like men's bell-bottom pants. Don't ask. I was an odd child, and like I was at least halfway through the day. Need that to be said.
Okay.
And I felt just like some kind of like something in my pant leg, and so I just like went to shake the pant leg, and a pair of my dad's underwear came out from like the laundry or something. They got up there, and I didn't know for like half the day, so that's good. Stupid. Which was just, how do these people even expect to get donations? She's gotten $150 so far
for her ghost panties.
Yeah, so next week, Average Joe Patriot's going to come on, and we are going to talk about like the whole grifter generation and all these like tip jars, but also about these websites like GoFundMe and Fund the First, and there's like a lot of scams on them and stuff. You got to read between the lines, but I got some good ones planned, and so we'll have like a scam meter or something. I don't know. And we'll talk about how not to get scammed and all this good stuff. And Rod, I really like that emote. That's a good one. Too bad you didn't swear. That Counter-Strike dude really needs some cash to hook up with those goth baddies.
I know.
Listen, Rod, you could go on GoFundMe. Here's his alleged face. And you can donate whatever you want. Let us know.
Is that all I need to get goth baddies? Is some Counter-Strike skins?
Counter-Strike skins.
I didn't know.
And from what I understand, I'm not a gamer, but that's when like your character gets like a different color digital hair or something, and you pay for that.
Nice.
Anyway, that's what he wants the money for.
That's awesome. I don't know if you want to wrap up. I know we're kind of like already wrapped up, but you know, we can just throw out some general. We'll go back to our corners. And throw out some general things that are just better to do with somebody or better to do alone. Yeah.
All right. What are you doing with people? What can you not do? Danielle, in your mind, what do you need people for besides a 3-legged race? Just cross off the first one that you're going to come up with.
Let's see. I don't need somebody for this, but it sure makes it a lot easier because I'm a single mama, is parenting. It's a lot nicer, better, easier, healthier when you have two. I mean, you need two people to actually make the kids. That is something you do need two people for. Sometimes more. But you do need two people to make the kids. And, you can do tons of single parents out there. Kudos to all the single parents. But yeah, parenting, it's kind of nicer when there's two.
Okay. Circle of one. Good evening, fellow human.
Good evening.
All right. What else? What else do you need other people for?
Sometimes meeting a stranger for the first time in a new place. Like you were selling some stuff on like Marketplace, right? And it's like, oh, you meet me in the alleyway behind the Walmart. Like sometimes it's nice to bring somebody with you just for protection, safety purposes. You can still do it by yourself. I'm just saying.
They make knives for that.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. You need community to find what new shows to stream. This is what I was going to bring it back to when you were talking about what we do in the shadows. When you're done with your series, you reach out to your friends and like, what should I watch now? Yes.
Roulette. I wouldn't even be watching shows because I don't even have a TV.
But true.
That's okay because I'm living out of a storage unit. I don't really have anything right now except for my grocery store earrings. $10 for a 3-pack. You don't need other people to watch. Because people will recommend a show that's dumb. You don't need that.
True, but I don't want to waste my time just finding one on my own. But there's that. Doing a podcast. You can do one on your own, but
it is fun to add your friends.
Yes, it's so fun to do it with people, and you get the differing opinions. It makes it a lot more diverse, fun. Just engaging when you have multiple people on a podcast.
Okay.
Just saying. And let's see, I wrote some other stuff here. Board games, your Sarlacc games.
Oh yeah, you can't play the Sarlacc by yourself.
Yes, sorry, Sarlacc. Yes, that's fun. Hugs. Oh my God.
I feel like Taco Bell is a hug that you could do for yourself.
Taco Bell's a hug for your colon, but I love hugs and I miss them. It would be nice to get more of them. It's not the same to hug yourself.
You could get on Craigslist. Get a knife first.
You're like, who wants to give me a hug? Don't try anything funny.
The hug bandit.
I force people to give me hugs.
The Rocky Mountain Hug Bandit.
Yeah, I don't know. I could probably end up in jail for that.
All right. But I think you could pretty much handle everything by yourself. So I think you could take a class all by yourself. You don't need anybody to sign up and learn something and like really dive into a new hobby or something that interests you. Voting. I don't think you need to know everything about what your aunt's dog groomer, who they want you to vote for. I think you can make an informed vote by yourself. A mate. I think when you're swiping, you should decide who you want to swipe on. I don't think you need to hear it from the peanut gallery of like, but like, what kind of car does he have? Like,
yeah,
I don't think you need it. This one's going to be controversial for you, but like going to a bar or a club and like meeting people. Yeah. I knew you weren't going to like that. I knew you were going to make your vampire face. No, because first of all, if guys are going to hit on you, like they hate trying to like infiltrate a pack of hyenas. So like go by yourself. I make all kinds of friends. I go to the goth bars here. First of all, Midwest goth clubs, let me just say, I'm like, is there like a hostel nearby? Like, why is everybody dressed like it's laundry day? Like, nobody dresses up here. It's so bizarre. And then my old ass walks in like a clown collar and stuff. And I'm like, what's up, Michigan?
I do agree on that. Although I hate it. I have gone just out I've forced myself to go out to a bar or a restaurant or whatever by myself. I don't know that I've been to a club by myself. I may have 30 years ago, and I always met somebody,
Yeah.
a new friend or just chatted somebody up. It's always easier to start chatting up a stranger when you're by yourself. Yes.
Hot tip, not that anybody's going to do it, but I always have a fan. So when you're like hot from the dance floor, first of all, it's like a great like prop to busy yourself with when you have nobody to talk to. And it's a great way to go meet people because I'll like fan people that just come off the dance floor and they're like,
Oh, I like
this is
that.
great. Thank you. And like I fan people before and like girls have come over and went, that's my boyfriend. I'm like, okay, well, he was sweaty. So I was fanning him. Like, it's not that serious. Move along. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't know.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one. For me specifically, comic conventions. So I'm a big nerd, and I take my kids to the comic conventions, but I prefer to do the stuff there. Like I might show up with a group of people, but I do everything by myself because nobody else wants to wait 6.5 hours to get Elijah Wood's autograph, but I will. And
Yeah,
I know you wouldn't, but I
meet
always
you at the snack bar.
I'm
Yeah.
standing in the autograph line. I'll sit in lines for hours and hours to get my celebrity autographs, and I think nobody would sit there with me and do this, and I'm happy as a clam to do it, and I make friends with everybody in line. You make a community of the people in front and behind you, and you start talking, why are you?
Yeah, because you're all miserable because nobody should be doing it.
That's right.
So I will say, I roller skate, as you know.
Yes.
And I've met so many girls in Michigan that are like, I love to roller skate. I'll go with you. And like, I go to this one like track and like, I just want to skate as fast as possible. I want to listen to my music, my iPod from like 1997. And I just want to go as fast as I can. I want to go as long as I can. I want to show up. I want to start skating. And like, you start involving too many people. And now it's like, oh, I'm late. Wait for me. I didn't bring any water. My foot hurts. Like, I can't go that fast. And it's like, in the police talk, we call it high speed, low drag. Like, I just want to go and I want to go as fast as I want, as long as I want. I don't want to wait for anyone. I don't want to deal with anything. Like, oh, could I borrow some skates? I don't want to deal with any of that. So,
yeah, I think when there's activities you really enjoy doing and you want to do the stuff you want to do with it, I want to wait in line 6 hours. You want to go as fast as you can, even just going to go work out. Like, I want to just go get my workout done. You don't want to talk to anyone. You want to put your headphones in, and that could be running, any type of stuff like that, or even sitting and doing some kind of hobby or activity. Sometimes, you just want to do it by yourself and not be bothered, and
there's hope for you.
That's enjoyable.
There's hope for you, Danielle. I feel I've personally won because there's hope for you. Okay, so like I said, next week is Average Joe Patriot, and we're going to be talking about the seedy underbelly of the charity and grifter generation. And then Rod's coming the week after. We're going to do a whole thing on identity theft.
Oh,
a lot of tips. Good. From a detective, I'll give you a lot of tips on how to avoid it and what to do when you are a victim.
That's a good topic.
Parent on the phone, you're talking to Comcast.
That's a good topic for it being tax season.
Oh, yeah.
I've known many people that have got their identity stolen and people submitted taxes on their behalf. Yeah.
And because of this latest identity theft, I had to do 6 reports. So now there are 6 places where my name and social security is going to get hacked from these 6 different people. And I'm just going to get hacked even more anyway. So Rod's going to come and we're going to do ID theft. And I think the week after, I don't know, I got to talk to him, but I think Mike's going to come back, my old LAPD partner, to talk about my weight loss journey. I might have to come clean about how I'm faking the workouts. And I can't be like the unapologetic, like garbage disposal. So we're going to talk about like how it worked. Because like if he has any magic, like it would have to be on me.
If he can get you to lose weight.
Yeah. I wouldn't need him.
I'll give you a little bit of my discipline. And you can give me a little bit of your lone wolfness. I wish. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have discipline for certain things, but when it comes to eating garbage, I have none. It's just, I'm like constantly unsupervised child at a birthday party. That's like my whole diet in a nutshell. Okay, guys, thank you so much for like making it this far. Thank you, Danielle, for coming and being with me. It's always fun to see you and talk to you. If you guys wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, maybe, that would be really cool. It's very exciting for me. I never asked for it also, so, you know, that'd be nice. Yes, Molly, start reading the Reddit so we can talk about that. Oh, yeah, Patricia, we're going to be diving deep. And, all right, I've got to take YouTube off of here.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.